And welcome back, fishing friends, to Wind Against Tide. Joey Fernand here, Adrian Lute here, Dave Standing. We are freezing our asses up here in Melbourne, but our spirits are warmed at the prospect of fishing very soon.
It is a little bit chilly in here, Joey. My computer's playing. Joey. Oh, man, that went bad. Joe played some music over his phone, and then I thought it was my computer, so I turned the volume back on.
No, that's okay. We're sorted.
Anyway, let's kick that off again and act like we didn't completely mess it up. So the weather is cold in Melbourne, but the fishing is hot for some people. Not me, but some people. Is that right, Adrian?
Well, you know what? We complain about this every single year. I think we forget that spring, we just come out of spring and we do get the spring rain, and we complain about it early December every single year.
Yeah, we do get a Belinda Carlisle summer rain here and there.
Carlisle.
I don't even get that reference.
You want to tell us what Belinda Carlisle is, Joey?
Summer Rain, the song.
Oh, there you go.
No, what
He's
did
just-
I say?
Joey's going to sing a whole live set for us here.
Somewhere in my heart, I was always
Okay, you know what else is hot to trot is tonight's show. We have a lot of good stuff coming up. We've got Whiskey Club with Joey. I'll elaborate a bit more on that one later.
Yes.
We've got a little bit of 20-pound police follow-up. We talked about that on last week's show. We're going to chat about KingFish as we come into summer. I don't know why we're doing that. Joe decided we were doing that for some reason.
Hey, the water's getting warm and people are getting sick of catching snapper. So we'll touch on that.
Well, Joey, I don't know if you listened to last week's podcast, did you?
Yeah.
You did?
Half of it.
Oh, half of it.
Yeah.
Well, if you actually listened, Joey, I had a segment called Grinds My Gears, and you probably want to have a listen to what happened in Grinds My Gears here. So we're going to play you a segment. If you look up to the TV here.
Thanks, Cam. You know what really grinds my gears?
Are you okay, Adrian? You're foaming at the mouth.
Dave,
What's happened?
Joey's gone out and he's put a brand new motor on his tinny. That was 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago.
4 bloody weeks.
Obviously, he's had it on the water.
No, this is ridiculous. He's just avoided all things possible. He went to the Soccer World Cup to watch it at Fed Square at 6 a.m. the other morning. It was perfect conditions to take the boat out. He did not take his boat out, Dave. Just avoided taking out his new motor. I don't know why, but he clearly isn't into boating.
Oh, I was very excited to get some motor reports from him too.
Yeah, so was I. Jonah's writing in, as a new motor owner, that is shameful, Joey.
It is shameful. What do you have to say for yourself?
Now, this is a text message that he sent us. I'll be out dominating with my boat this week and I'll be captaining. I will show you.
Well, it's now Wednesday.
Well,
You're running out of days, Joe.
let me just rebut there for a second. Number one, I really did enjoy my flare smoke inhalation, secondhand boat flare smoke inhalation at the soccer, watching the Socceroos get through to the round of 16, beating Denmark. So that was quite nice. But yeah, this Friday's looking like the go. And I have been really busy lately with
Joey, let's just say Sunday was perfect conditions for fishing. Where were you? Why were you not launching that new motor?
No,
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
No, I had family plans. No, it was windy as last Sunday.
I think Adrian meant Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday was beautiful.
Saturday I was doing real estate. But anyways, this Friday, and I'm actually going to film it, and I look forward to sharing it all with you Wind Against Tiders.
So you've heard it here first. Joey's taking it out Friday, guys. Be prepared to get some motor stats and some great fishing pictures.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, if there was flares getting set off in the boat on the first run, that would probably be bad. But the fact that they were celebratory flares at the soccer, okay. So what's the first trip going to be, Joe? You reckon you're going out this weekend, you were saying? What are you chasing in the new beast?
We're definitely going to be some snapper. I want to get my dad a few snapper. That would be great. Toto, if you're listening, we're going to catch some snapper on Friday night after work.
I might need to get some tips because I'm a cursed man. You might want to stay back from me if you're planning on going snapper fishing.
Yeah, look, honestly,
what?
I've been on a great run of snapper fishing. Like, it's been magical. And the moment I bring Dave out, Yeah, let's just say we had a rubber hook syndrome.
We
What happened?
Hey, I'll tell you what happened is we started the day off fishing down at Portfield Bay down at Carrum, and the idea was to go soft plastic fishing.
Oh no, it wasn't just a secret trying to follow up another 20-pounder.
Oh, absolutely it was.
Because that's what you set out to do last time. Right? Oh, just go for some soft plastics, and this is 20-pounder. What do you know?
Yeah, well, he used all his luck up on that trip because this one was an absolute shocker.
Well, if you're going to call this a 20-pounder, got one on the plastic, so here it is.
Wow.
That's a 2 grammer.
Yeah, absolutely.
20 grammer, I'll give it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not. So that's the very first fish after your 20-pound snapper.
Well, you know what?
Really going to both ends of the spectrum.
Absolutely. Like, you got to fish the spectrum to get those magical fish. And, when we struggled to catch any fish of decent size on the plastics and soft vibes, we tried to catch some on the baits.
Did you burley them up and then chuck the plastics over?
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe, do you know what I found the most entertaining thing about that day was?
What?
Adrian's still on a bit of a snapper high from his 20-pounder.
So he should be.
We launched at lunchtime or just before lunchtime at Paddo River.
Oh, I love
Every charter boat was back picking up their customers for the midday charter.
Yeah.
It was hectic. There was people everywhere. And here's old Adrian over here doing a little flotilla, a little float down the paddo.
Mate, it was a parade down. It was a parade down the channel.
He's paraded himself.
Be waving like the Queen.
He was. He chatted to every charter boat. Just, hey boys, you caught any 20-pounders this week? No, Adrian. No. He didn't quite say that, but I felt that's what he was.
You know what?
feeling.
I kind of wish I did, just to make my head a little bit bigger. And
I was like, Adrian, you're going down the wrong side of the river, just getting in everyone's way. He's like, how else do I talk to everyone?
That is actually a true statement, though. I did say that. How else am I going to talk to people?
It was just bumper boats the whole way down the paddo.
So go back to the trip. So then what happened?
Oh, sorry. Was that story not good enough for you?
No, I really enjoyed that. But I want to know why there's so much bad luck about the snapper after Adrian's dream run.
Well, I'll tell you, Joey, like, we got called in the fish again by Mitch Chapman. So we're thinking we're on a 20-pounder here. Like, Mitch Chapman.
He's come good.
Yeah. And we get there and he's winding in.
He had 2 on.
Yeah, he had a double on when we get there. And we go, oh, shit, we're on here, Dave.
Give us
we're
some old,
going to get you a fish.
Give us some old pillies, Mitch.
Is this straight out of Carrum? Just like everyone says, like, oh, where'd you get the snapper? Oh,
It actually
straight
was.
out of Carrum.
When you're
This
fishing in
actually
the
was.
middle of the bay, it's straight out of everywhere, Joe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Depends what direction you turn to.
I often get quite confused because some people would say I'm fishing 19 meters of St Kilda or 20 meters of Mornington. You know, they all meet in that same spot.
I know, it's the same spot.
I'm like, where are you? Mornington, Chelsea, Carrum?
Yeah.
What
I love
are
it.
we
Though.
doing?
It's like, where'd you get them, mate? Mate, I got them straight out of Carrum.
Anyway,
So
Joe, so we rolled up to Mitch and he had a couple of fish on and we thought, here we go. We hit spot lock, which I bloody love spot lock in Port Phillip.
How good is it?
No anchoring. You know what else I found it good for was slight repositioning onto the closer
Well,
where
to the boats that are catching fish.
closer to Mitch.
Yeah.
So people that don't know what spot lock is, you've got the engine keeping you anchored.
No.
Oh,
Not
the-
an engine.
the
It's our electric motor.
Yeah, I suppose it's an engine.
It's not a combustible engine, no.
It's an electric engine.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'll allow it.
Okay, you're all.
So we whacked that on, and Mitch was banging them, and we're like, oh, we're gonna have a good arvo here. But the problem is, we kind of launched very half-assed. We mainly wanted to get more footage to go with Adrian's 20-pound snapper, and
like a little segue.
so I only really took like 1 bag of pillies, which is just clearly not enough. So we were a bit light on for cubes and that sort of thing. So we really struggled to hold the fish where we were. Mitch was lovely enough to give us a bunch of his old bait. So you'd think we would have got a giant fish out of that.
And
what time was the tide change scheduled for?
3 p.m. Joe.
Yeah, 3 or 4 or something.
Yep.
But
So,
I'll tell
you
you,
set up kit and what time?
Oh, don't even know.
This is very specific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're interrogating us.
he actually is. But I'll tell you what, Joey, the moral of this story is that Dave's cursed, and every good fish that we had on, we had the old rubber hook syndrome, and we could not keep a hook hooked up to a snapper. Like, it got to the end of the day, we burleyed the shit out of whatever we had left on the boat, and we finally get a bite on. Dave had his squid rod out with a twin Snell and a silver whiting, and it
Yeah.
gets absolutely crunched and screaming. Dave's picked it up, and there's a seal at the back of the boat, and I'm like, this seal is not getting this damn fish. And I've got my sinkers and gaffs like splashing the water, and
He looked like a tribesman.
oh, absolutely.
On the
And I'm
corner of the
like,
boat.
Dave, you keep that fish on. I'm keeping this seal away from your fish. We need success here. And literally, it goes down on the other side of the boat. I'm like, oh, that must be close now. I'm handling this seal, and he goes, oh, and it just screams off, and he goes, oh, it's just come off. The seal got it. Okay, it can't be. I've got the seal under control here. And he goes, oh no, it's pulled the hooks.
Oh,
Well, a little
no.
bit of technical talk.
Yeah.
Squid rods are designed to absorb lunges, aren't they, Joe?
Yeah,
They're,
sure.
they're a slow taper, slow,
Yeah,
soft rod.
and the guides all face the same way, so it's like a
So
nice
not
bend.
ideal for setting 250 hooks, really, is it? You want a bit
No.
more backbone than
But
that. So
Definitely.
But the point of that story is that happened about 6 or 7 times that afternoon. We could not catch a good fish. And then we finally caught one, and it was about 2 kilo. And we just looked at it and go, oh, you deserve to go back in the water. Do we call this a donut session? And that's what Dave asked me. I go, oh, kind of.
I said it is.
Yeah.
Adrian was happy to claim that it wasn't. Joe,
Well-
how was Billy Joel the other day? You went out to the Billy Joel concert.
Well, that's what he did instead of snapper fishing.
And what I found interesting is that Joe was probably a lot more interested in Tina Arena.
Oh, Tina Arena was magic. She was the support act. So yeah, just to put it in perspective, Billy Joel, he's getting on. He's 73 years old.
73.
73 years old, and there was 71,000 people at the MCG.
So who's going to be the new piano man once he carks it?
I don't know. Maybe he'll mentor another upcoming piano person, but who knows? But yeah, the 71,000 people at the G. Billy Joel one night only. So this was actually the only concert in Australia. So the whole joint was absolutely packed from the floor to the ceiling. And yeah, Tina Arena came out, did Sorrento Moon and Heaven Help My
Did she
Heart.
do chains?
She did Chains, and that was all really. That took me back to the 90s. I was even joking to Dave. I said we're going to replace Vanessa Amorosi in the boat with Tina Arena. That's how good it was.
And I said, that's blasphemy, Joe. Nobody replaces Vanessa.
So yeah,
So what Joe's done here is he's basically avoided taking his motor out to see some chick who is not in it anymore.
Look,
Basically, she's trying to make a
hey,
comeback.
I went for Billy Joel, and then like Billy Joel might not be back. He's 73. Could be the last time.
Joe thinks he's going to die before.
Well, either that or his voice is going to go. Would be one or the other.
All right.
Have you seen Have you seen Elton John sing these days?
It's not bad. That's
He's a
why they have
rocker.
to add
Come on.
That's why they have to have techno music on top of him with Dua Lipa and Britney Spears. Yeah, sure, he's good
Have you heard how much he hates lettuce, Adrian?
because he's a rocket man.
Yeah. You've ruined my joke.
Ah.
But yeah,
Sorry.
sorry
Yeah.
everyone about that.
Hey, tell me something. So I was listening to last week's podcast, and I believe that there's a 20-pound police out at the minute.
Oh,
Well,
But what's
It's
been
become-
what?
oh, here we go.
What's this?
It's
Oh, it's 20-pound
police.
police theme song.
Dave's going for it. So what's happening with the 20
Let
pound
it
police?
play out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, don't let it play out.
So what's happening with the 20-pound police, Joey?
What's been the last update of the 20-pound police in the last week?
Well, apparently there's been a newly formed, what's it called, unit of the.
Yeah,
Victorian
apparently
Police
they've
Force.
hired someone else who's bought himself with a pair of digital scales, and he's going to call people out at the boat ramp.
There's multiple officers, I believe, as we saw from Adrian getting harassed. They're out patrolling the streets, and let's just say, if you're claiming a snapper's heavier than it really is, expect to have the book thrown at you. You're
And-
nicked.
Well, save it for Judge Joe Brown.
Well, I was actually in the local tackle shop today. I was in Complete Angler Dandenong, and I noticed that they did have some digital scales there. Like, I can't believe a digital scales nowadays goes up to 50 kilos. Like, just I'm just being honest.
They
They
go
only
up much higher than that, let me tell you, Joe.
really.
Sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
No, well, they come on, guys. Like, let's be honest. They only used to go up to 20 kilos,
I think
and you'd be
30, or was it?
yeah. They weren't very
Yeah.
much.
It just depends what model you buy. I can't believe
Well-
we're having digital scale chat here.
Oh, you'll tell me digital scales. What's the most that you've seen at digital scales?
Well, we
Well,
have
we've
old
got crane
crane
lines here.
scales that go up to like, 300 kilos or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
so
what? So you bring that in your boat?
They're only this
No.
big.
They're for the big tuna.
You hook them onto a chain on your crane or forklift like we do here, and you hook one end up to the tuna. Done.
Yeah, where'd you buy that from?
A crane place.
eBay?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
No, that's cool. eBay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good
We've,
chat.
we've weighed a few barrels with it and everything. So
Yeah, I just don't think there's enough of these digital scales out in the general public. That's why we're having a laugh here. That's why there's a 20-pound police, right?
No, I just think that people would rather overestimate their fish because
come on,
the
we've-
truth is that
yeah.
they're not as big as they want them to be. And
Well,
it's just
we're,
easy
we're,
to-
we're fishermen, Dave. We
Yeah.
like to add mayo on things, and adding mayonnaise to your snapper is not one thing you should do
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah,
you
just
got
a
to
little-
be truthful because
And the-
getting that 20-pound number is a magical number, and if you're overshooting your snapper, it's not a good.
I
not a
don't
good
care
sign.
about that. I just don't want to be arrested by the 20-pound police. It was a very nostalgic intro song, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah, that's a classic. I've got memories of going over to my mate's place and like we were all like told go to bed because the parents wanted to stay up and watch that particular TV show.
Yeah, there's it's aren't we allowed to mention it?
Yeah, the
They-
bill,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, it was just you were avoiding it.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
The bill. A
ABC,
real
the bill.
stalwart of 90s television, early
Yeah.
2000s.
I think Shane's saying we need a portable Gopal gantry to call people out here.
Oh my gosh, that's still
Mm.
that's the funniest story ever. Greg Gopal, we were weighing a swordfish. David caught a swordfish solo out of Lake's entrance, and there was a big welcoming party back at night in Crib Point for him, and we all rushed around to the old Gopal house, and we attached some kind of crane winch to Greg's side of his pergola.
Yeah,
Mm.
and the swordfish was bigger than his pergola, and he's still trying to winch
Yeah,
it.
and we're winching up this swordfish, and I reckon it was about to take half the house down.
We
with it.
legitimately nearly tore half his house down, hanging a swordfish off it.
Absolutely.
Joe made one of the funniest pictures I've ever seen of that. Him
did
just-
he?
It was just Greg just hunched over the makeshift winch he'd made, looking like an absolute broken man.
He was defeated, but no, he kept whining like he gave it everything he got.
Apparently, Simon's questioning, and this is quite a valid question: are we very close to the point of the year where we go back to talking about bluefin tuna for another 10 months plus?
Well, it's the eve of the tuna. Like
They're here.
I know that's on
They're
my
actually
mind.
here.
I'm basically going to take the snapper racks off my little tinny, and that will do.
Right. You putting the queue in the rack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I
there
love
has been
Yeah.
bluefin around back in our local waters again.
I'm keen to get the magic popper out, Dave.
Yeah.
For another season.
Some nice calm summer days. Hopefully we'll get some
Well,
more.
you might get one on a rubber duck this year.
Maybe.
Oh, the duck's coming back out.
The yellow
Where is
duck.
Danny the duck?
I think he's in my lure kit.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't let you.
Did
couldn't
you
just
end up?
let you have him?
Did you end up catching one on a rat after all of that?
No.
So Dave's stolen my
What was it?
Danny the duck, and he's claimed it in his tuna lure kit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It works. Well, it doesn't work, but it runs remarkably well. So.
Oh, well,
Now we got Shane here. He's saying tag it 22 this year, Adrian. I'm just keeping it real. Oh, guess what, Shane?
Oh, you're putting fire in his belly, Shane.
Dave suggested that we do it as a win against Tide effort.
And
that-
Adrian didn't want a bar of it.
Well, perhaps we could do it this year, but we'll see. We'll see
Well,
how we go.
let's spill the beans. Where the local tuna been happening?
Well,
Well,
there's been a couple of reports.
yeah, a few off Barwon, a few off Cape Shank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
that's all
those
we
things.
know of.
You know those things, Joey. They'll pop up when and wherever they like.
Well, yeah. Look, there's you just got to go out there and use your eyes.
Now, Joe, it's the KingFish podcast, apparently.
Joe's got
So
lots to talk about here.
Yeah.
you've made the call. They're coming into summer. We're switching to KingFish mode. Let's not talk about stupid tuna.
Yeah.
I want you to enlighten everyone with some KingFish tips, some discussion points.
Smash the like button right now to hear Joey talk about his kingfish tips.
Yeah, we're going to talk about kingfish. I've had a few calls from a few different mates over the past week and asking me about, what's the right rod for kingfish, or, I'm thinking of chasing them this year. So, look, I'm just going to share some of my local experiences with local kingfish. And
Just to qualify your experience here, Joe, quick couple of questions. Biggest kingfish?
I didn't weigh them, but look, I'm gonna say 25 to 30
Oh,
kilos.
so big ones.
Ranfurly Banks, New Zealand, on the jig.
Yeah, I wouldn't have included the location. It would have sounded more impressive without
Yeah.
including that.
Yeah,
But New Zealand, yeah, cracking big fish.
He's being honest here.
Right. So
You could have said boy 12 on a jig, 30 kilo.
how long have you been catching kingfish for, Joe? And I'm going to say in Victoria.
yeah. Okay, Victoria. I've been chasing them since 2010.
2010. So you're an old hand. You're more than qualified.
Yeah. Look, I guess the thing with Melbourne kingfish or Victoria kingfish, we only get them for seems to be quite a short amount of time of the year. It's really when that water temp starts heating up, over 18, 19 degrees.
I disagree with you there, Joey. I've
well-
seen some monsters caught off the Western entrance in August.
Really?
Yeah. You remember the old kingfish tail, Dave?
Yeah,
About 30 kilos or so.
the tail,
Yeah.
one that everyone has decided wasn't true.
Well, I heard it was true.
Of course you did.
I guess what the chances of catching one is
Yeah,
is
Joe's talking
greater.
about peak times here. He's
Yeah.
trying to give everyone a hot tip as to when they can go with the best chance of success.
Exactly, and you definitely want to go. Just giving an example of the out of Western Port there, the micro bait seems to come in about this time. Now there's little see-through. I don't even know what they are. They're these little see-through things, and
Well,
then
it's just a group of species of fish that we call whitebait.
baby whitebait.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, we can just roll with that. But then the yakkers come in, the mackerel comes in, and the salmon schools come in, and then all of a sudden we start to see kingfish.
Right. So, what would be the first locations that you would start looking
In
right now?
Victoria
If you
or
were-
Melbourne?
Let's say Victoria. If you were about to go tomorrow,
I'd go probably Portland or Port Fairy if it was me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's where they start firing this time of year there.
Yep.
Early season. And I do think I've seen one of the local charters in Port Fairy put a big one up on his Instagram. So I don't know how recent that is, but it could be recent.
well, there's
And it
been a
was quite
couple recently outside our main bays, Western Port, Port Phillip. So they're probably safe to say that they're spread through in maybe not in huge
I
numbers.
did see a 122 centimeter one caught out of Port Phillip heads on the weekend.
That's right.
That's a good fish.
That's unbelievable. Like, really, when you're targeting kingfish out of Melbourne, it's interesting conversation because they can be sort of, I've seen them as little as 5 kilos and up to 20 kilos. So
Plus,
yeah,
Mm.
and you can't select if you're going to catch a small one or a big one. So yeah, it's really important that that you do have the right sort of gear to be ready for if one of those big ones comes along. Dave, you've done a lot of kingfishing too. What would be one of your favorite ways to catch kingfish locally?
favorite
Locally.
way to catch them.
The easiest way
Uh,
or his favorite way?
Well,
Favorite?
the only way I've caught them locally, as in out from home, would be on live baits. A lot harder to tempt on the lures
Yep.
around our neck of the woods. But my favorite way to catch them is casting topwater poppers and stick baits for sure.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
why I've done a little bit less kingfishing the last couple of years because I do find slow trolling live baits quite boring.
I can tell you now.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely
Kingfish
love it.
are probably one of the most annoying species to catch because you can despo on these so quickly because, like Dave was saying, the slow trolling, walking the dog, it is so damn boring. And
Oh.
when nothing's happening after a couple of hours, you're like, that's me done. But when you get that bite, it is absolutely one of the best feelings ever. And you just locked and loaded on this beast and you go, damn, this is good. I want to do it all the time.
I-
Then you go out a couple more times and have shit sessions again, and you're like, oh, I hate kingfish.
Oh, top water kingies are amazing. You know, I've even caught them on the stick bait. You know, to just sort of just roll side to side. They're unbelievable. But I love catching them on the live bait. There's nothing better. You know, you go and find you know, your favorite pier or pylon inside the bay or rocky outcrop, and you know, burley the shit up out of the area, and you know, catch some yakkers and slimies, get them in the live tank, and then you know, go outside the bay and go to your favorite rocky outcrops, either to the east or the west, and just, you know, troll those yakkers and mackerel around those headlands. It usually when one of those rods buckles over, it's usually an awesome sized kingy. Like, they're not always small.
Well, that's a fair point, Joe. When you say rocky outcrop, because literally any nice piece of structure that's got a bit of current pushing past it can potentially hold fish. So you don't need to go to the spots where everyone is constantly fishing.
And reefs as well.
There's still quite some water in our area to be explored.
You're not into the sand kingfish?
the sand kingfish.
I'm just saying.
What are those ones?
Bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're saying we
Yeah.
need to be on rocky outcrops.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I'm into them wherever they will turn up, Adrian. Yeah. So yeah, plenty of exploring to be done even in this day and age. I reckon there's some untapped fisheries out there, and you know what? You find those spots that not everyone's going to. You're probably going to have a good session.
That's probably why Boy 12 went so good this year, because we know that's quite a large reef there. We've been reefed from big gummy sharks and school sharks there over the years, and it's obviously holding bait, and kingfish are there. And
Well, even the tuna came up the bay to Boy 12 as well.
did they?
Temporarily, yeah. At the front of Cows, remember? Like,
Oh, yeah.
right around the corner. It was literally, I think it was a flash in the pan kind of moment, but that could happen again maybe this summer if we're lucky.
Simon Webster's asking about Tamboon kingfish
Was
down
it-
out over there in his neck of the woods at East Gippsland, and he's saying, was that the maddest day ever? Oh, that was it was definitely up there. For those that don't know what we're talking about, we years ago kind of stumbled across that fishery.
Yeah, you had about 6 million of them coming towards a boat after
Yeah.
one stick bait.
Literally just
Wow.
just tons and tons of them, and hadn't seen many boats, so they were fired up, eating top water, stick baits, and just just those dream days. And we had that multiple times. So maybe that's why it's ruined it for me a little bit locally, because
You've
you
had
have
it easy.
sessions like that. Well, I haven't had it easy because I was similar to Joe, been chasing him a long time, and took me a very long time to catch my first one, and that was down there near Cape Shank, not at Cape Shank, at Wash Rock, I think it's called. So no,
The
I definitely
pulpit.
know how hard they can be to catch.
The pulpit.
No,
Is it
not there.
I find with the kingies, it's either you're going to get heaps or you'll get nothing.
I find it like you're going to get one or none.
Oh, really?
That's how I see it locally.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I found it there. You either get
Yeah.
a lot or zero.
There's quite a good fishery down at Portland in the shallows. Around January or whatever. But
Yeah, we went for a try. While we were waiting for the basking tuna to come up.
there was one year guys were catching him off the beach and just casting. Like, that's how close they come to the shore.
We were at Portland last summer, and they were just trolling like Halco twisties in the shallows just in front of the.
Oh yeah,
the
they were
sheds
after
there.
I think that
the
was
salmon.
that was sluggos they were trolling, Joe.
Yeah.
But no, you just at Portland, it's a bit of a different fishery as well, because the fish are kind of on those more those flat reef areas, and people just kind of anchor up, pump early, put live baits out, sit there and relax. Actually, I think that sounds a bit more appealing than trolling around just in gear all day. I might give that a crack down this way this year.
Yeah, and look, we've been down to Cape Lip Trap before, and I had some amazing sessions down there.
Yeah, about this time of year too, I've had some great sessions down there. So
I remember there was this one time where I was out and we were sprinkling the water with the deck wash, and the kingies
that
were
old
coming up.
chestnut.
That's an old commercial boat fishing trick, isn't it? Where
It
they
is.
spray the water.
Yeah,
They spray their hoses into the water, and it looks like bait fish, and it makes a noise, and attracts the yellowfin tuna to the boat.
Well, yeah, the kingies came right up around the boat, and yeah, redhead poppers were just getting slammed, and the sun was going down, and it was one of the most, it was epic afternoons of fishing. But man, I love them, and gee, how good are they to eat?
Oh, they are very nice,
Oh.
especially the ones that come out of the cooler waters down here tend to be very good to eat, Joe.
But I think they taste so good because it's so far and few between we get a chance to have them here in Victoria, fresh on the table.
Absolutely. Now, good stuff, Joe. You've managed to get your kingfish segment in. If we
Apparently,
can-
there's some debunking going on these shore kingfish in Portland.
yeah,
Perhaps people are dragging them to the shore.
I was actually aware of that, but I just
Yeah.
let it
Oh,
slip anyway.
I
I didn't correct you.
A bit of debunking from people,
I'll
the
just
listeners.
quickly answer a question. We had a question on Facebook about favorite rods, reels, and setup for kings. I'm just going to just quickly say, okay, favorite technique is live baiting out of our local waters. I've got a Shimano Saragossa 10,000. I've got 65-pound braid on that on a PE 4 to 7 jigging rod, and I'd put on probably 80 to 100-pound mono, and we'd have a heavy gauge 7.0 or 8.0 hook attached to that with a Western Port rig.
Is that a live bait hook?
A live bait hook, because you want the hook to be quite a heavy gauge, because we're going to put lots of pressure. When that kingy takes the live bait, you don't want him to run into the reef. So we're using like staunch, heavy tackle that we can put a lot of pressure on the fish quickly. So you got your Western Port rig with, a 14 or 16 ounce sinker, 80 to 100-pound leader, 7.0 or 8.0 hook. You also want to catch your live bait, have the live bait tank running. Make sure you've got a bait needle and a lacquer band, or you can make little loops out of braid. And what you want to do is put the lacquer band or the braid through the little eyelet.
Dave's taking some notes here, Joey.
You catch your live bait, and you want to pierce say a yakka's got like a clear little membrane through the nose, and you want to thread the lacquer band through that. You do a couple of twists onto your 7.0 hook, and then you'll just drop it down to the desired depth and troll around the rocky outcrops. It helps if you've got a great sounder as well on the boat, and you're actually marking up the arches of kingfish on your sounder. And that's just a quick 101 how to do live baiting for kingfish.
So basically what you said for 10 minutes about the needle and the lacquer band, we're just been shoving a hook through the nostril, and that works just fine.
Oh, that's not true.
Dave.
I don't do any of that. No, it's a great little insight, Joey.
Look, there's some people that might want to know. Like, we do it a lot, but there might be some people listening that want to know how to do that.
Yeah,
how to chase the kingies.
That's not exactly how I do it, but that's
well, please tell us.
No, people have. One thing I will say that I'll go the other way for you there is I won't use a setup. Well, I will use a setup capable of putting pressure on fish, but I won't put pressure on fish when I hook them up. Kingfish,
We've learnt this on the last kingfish.
That's right. If you pull hard, they'll pull hard. If you go easy on them,
I'm pretty sure
you
we
can
did a
leave them
video of going hard versus going no drag.
Done it quite a few times now.
Yeah.
And
I haven't. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, go
like
on.
there was one time where I fought a fish and we tested the drag. It was 17 kilos of drag, and I remember almost breaking my wrist. And then the next fish, Dave, went like less than a kilo or whatever, and the fish just kind of swam to the bait. And
just talking about sounding kingfish up on depth sounder, it's quite interesting. You can almost tell when you're going to get a bite from them, because there'll be times where you're marking them up, they're there, but they're more like your snapper arch sort of thing. So they're slow, they're lethargic, they're not fired up. Then you'll literally see the marks become elongated, more squiggly, and the fish are fired up. They're moving quicker through your sonar beam, and that's generally when you'll get a hook up pretty quickly.
Well, there's been multiple times we go, we're going to get a hook up here, and literally as soon as we finish that sentence, the rod just goes, and like we're on.
That's right. Yeah. So, what's your just to finish up on that one, Adrian? What's your number one kingfish tip?
My number one kingfish tip is you got to pick. I think you got to pick your tides, because especially locally, there's certain tides that go better than others, and that's because Western Port's such a big estuary. On the ebb tide, it flushes out all this brown water. I think you want to be, on the flood tide where it's pushing blue water into the areas. That's just one of my tips. It
Clean-
might not be anyone
clean
else's
water.
opinion.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
clean water.
decent
No, I'd
theory.
agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot days. That's my one. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yes, some
hot
of those
days-
35-degree days you've
Yep.
seen you guys do well. Yeah.
Hot days, that surface water temperature heats up, gets them a bit more active. You often find that first real hot northerly day of the summer will produce fish.
And get a variety of fresh baits because yakkers and slimies don't always work. And you'll find that arrow squid might be the dynamite bait of the day, which we've found out many times.
True. Squid's a good bait.
Oh yeah, I'd never forget this one time we were down at the prom. You're on board with I think it was Dane, your diving mate,
Mm.
and we'd only caught one arrow squid, and you've put down a live arrow squid around the back of the rocks, and by goodness, did that thing
Why,
freaking
good
take
golly
off.
gosh. Well, no, that day we'd towed every other live bait yakkers and stuff past that very same point for all day basically, and then we went off and caught that arrow squid. First pass back with the arrow squid, and
It was on a sabiki too, like we were trying to catch. No, we didn't have any bait, Dave. We only just caught one arrow squid.
don't you dare question my story. We did have bait. We did have other baits. We just didn't have many,
Fight.
and we ran out.
Okay.
But we had trolled other baits past there, and then put the squid on, and we hooked up. Okay.
So that
We've all-
wraps
we've
up
all-
Joey's
We've all,
KingFish
we've all
chat.
got our story straight now.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's all good.
All right. Now we
All ends
never
well.
have to mention it again.
Let us never talk of the kingy again.
Good segment, Joe. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. Really.
I can't wait to see Joey do this on his 420 dory.
It's been
gonna be
done
great.
before.
Let's see it happen this year, Captain Joey.
Joe,
Yes, Dave.
you had a little exciting segment you were bringing to the table today, or a reveal.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
He's just pointing at stuff.
Okay.
Just tell us what you got, Joey.
Well,
Bring-
look, recently I've joined. I quite enjoy single malt Scotch, and apparently there's this thing called Whiskey Club. It's like Fight Club. Nobody talks about it, but
Is that
apparently-
why you're not even talking about it?
No, apparently there's a whiskey club, and anyways, through some targeted Facebook marketing, they somehow figured out that I liked whiskey, and I joined the club.
Well, I've got to say
And,
something. I've got an empty tumbler thing
Yep.
with
So
no
do
whiskey
I.
in it, and I just want to know where my damn whiskey is.
So-
What's going on?
Yeah, basically, Whiskey Club is a whiskey subscription. I think there's about 84,000 members in Australia, and every month you get sent a bottle of whiskey that this club has got exclusive access to. So, we're gonna crack open this month's Whiskey Club, which I received today.
It's basically whiskey guide.
Yeah, basically, they're guiding him onto some good whiskies.
Yeah, they're guiding me onto some good whiskies. So here we go.
What's our first whiskey? It's
Well-
saying
well-
Starwood. We into
Actually,
Starwood.
before you open the bottle, you've it comes with a note.
Yeah.
Right, a note about what we're drinking, and Dave's going to actually narrate while I pour some glasses.
Now I know you guys are going to think this is a set up ad, but literally it's not.
It's not.
Oh,
it's just-
Joey likes to advertise things that he does, and
But if Whiskey Club do want to help the show out, you're more than welcome.
Oh yeah, we could definitely organise some live tastings, but so Dave can start narrating about the whiskey while I'm pouring it.
Now they send this little kind of fancy looking,
looks like it's been stained with tea bags.
like a ye oldie parchment.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm going to give it a read. What a collaboration and what a finale. We invited this year's most awarded distillery in the world to set out on a voyage of discovery to find the best casks on the planet, which is what Joey's got there.
Is there any good points to that letter? Or are they just advertising themselves?
Oh no, it goes on.
Yeah.
A second maturation in nothing less than limousine oak French cognac casks. This is Starwood like you've never tasted.
Okay,
Everyone?
well, I'm just going to taste it anyway because it sounds boring when you're reading.
It does a little bit.
just go from here.
Oh, okay. We want to discuss.
We just go from there.
Okay, on the Adrian, I want you to smell that for me. What are you getting?
It's got a spice sensation to it. Is that what it says on your paper?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Your palate's obviously shit.
Okay. I've been drinking beers, so
What you should be smelling there, Adrian, is fresh summer berries and dewy orchard fruits alongside cinnamon sticks,
all I smell is whiskey.
chewy Jersey caramels, and Madagascan vanilla bean. I'm getting all that from here.
Yeah.
And I've had COVID, so I've got no taste.
All right, let's just drink the whiskey.
It's quite smooth.
No,
I enjoy it.
That's what we're drinking. There we
Okay.
go. Starwards.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, I'm going to have a quick taste.
All right, cool.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's whiskey. Oh, it's actually quite nice. Yeah. I think
Oh, that's
everyone's-
nice. Very good.
Yeah. There you go, everyone. That was
So
the-
Joey's joined Whiskey Club and
So, yeah,
he's taken his first bottle live on the podcast.
Whiskey Club, and I've just shared that with Dave and Adrian. So,
Thanks,
yeah,
Joey.
that's all right.
I certainly enjoyed that. I reckon while you're drinking that whiskey, we need a little visit from our favourite weather girl.
Oh, yes. A favourite weather girl.
You know the one?
Oh, yeah, I certainly do.
I'd love to get a weather update.
It's been bloody freezing this week and windy. So, like, yeah, let's forget about fishing for the week. But we have got. Let me just see what we got here.
Joey doesn't even know the weather, guys.
Joe can't actually see. His eyes are broken.
Okay.
Well, tonight it's apparently it's blowing its guts out. Obviously, it's 30 knots from the south, and then tomorrow after about, I'm going to say 4:30 in the afternoon, that southerly is going to abate to under around sort of 10 to 15 knots. So there could be a chance to go fishing tomorrow night in the Melbourne local waters. However, Friday and Saturday, that wind backs right off, and you're going to be looking at more like.
I'll tell you what, Joey's going to be taking out his new motor on the Friday Arvo because he's looking at the weather and goes, damn, that's good motor taking out weather.
Definitely for my little 4.2 meter boat. Yeah, so you're looking at 5 to 10 knots on Friday and Saturday. Saturday afternoon, it's going to be an afternoon sea breeze up to about 15 to 20 knots. But really, if you're serious about going fishing this week, you got a bigger boat,
You
try
can
it.
probably go most days on the weekend by the
Yeah.
looks of it.
Yeah, tomorrow night would be good if you had sort of a bigger vessel, but Friday, Saturday is chef kiss conditions. That's it.
It's actually one of the better looking forecasts we've seen in a while.
Yeah. And
Thanks, Jane.
look, post Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, sort of your 15 to 20, 25 knots. So really, yeah, if you want to go fishing, look over Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That is all.
I enjoyed that. Finally, some warmer weather on the horizon, by the way, just looking at that. So something to look forward to there.
Oh, so we got some actual summer weather coming.
Yeah, you can say summer's coming, and so is Christmas.
Well, hopefully one of them comes.
Hey, Adrian, I just got something else
Yeah.
to share. I've been trolling social media the last week.
Yeah,
I
what do you
brought
got?
something fishing to the table. So I don't know if any of you guys at home follow Yoichi Mogi, the godfather of jigging.
Oh, I loved him on Dragon Ball Z.
Is
No,
that
not
who it is?
Goku. Yoichi,
No.
Yoichi Mogi is one of the godfathers of jigging.
Yoshimitsu, that was
He
a Tekken 3
trained-
character.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
How good's Tekken, by
he's
the way?
he's put up this post, and it's Facebook's translated it from Japanese to English, and it basically reads this: "Man who keep challenging giant tuna. There's a guy who keeps challenging North Carolina, Canada, Ireland, and the giant tuna." It goes on to do a more elaborate story, but there is this jigging rod which a guy's literally holding in the cup of his elbow, and
Cup
this
of an elbow.
what would you call the pit?
I wasn't aware I had an elbow cup.
Just put that picture up again. Like, how'd you describe that, Dave?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. He is using his
His arm to
His-
hold the rod.
His elbow pit
Yeah, this fella,
as leverage.
this fella here's got a
Tophilophiatosis.
he's
I
got a
think the
jigging-
word you're looking for.
he's got a jigging rod and he's on about a 300 kilo tuna and he's holding it with his whole arm. But anyways, the post goes on to then, if you go to the next slide there, Adrian.
That's absolutely horrific use of a rod, by the way. That is just it's no good.
He
Yeah.
keeps asking me to go to the slide that we've looked at for 10 minutes.
No.
I
So
love this.
yeah, check out the bend on these rods. And apparently they've been designed to catch 300 kilo tuna on spin gear. And some of the stats that have come out on these rods are literally 33 kilo vertical lift.
Yeah, okay.
33. So
what's the significance of this story that you're bringing up?
Well,
is it the rod or the tuna or the man?
Well, it's a bit of everything. But have you tried to catch a 300 kilo tuna on spin gear?
Well, if I had the opportunity, I would try.
Yeah,
I'd take my snapper rods and give it a goddamn good try.
But yeah, just wanted to let you know that apparently the world's toughest jigging rods, Yoichimogi, somehow has a hand on them. A 5.3 foot, 600 gram Durag Max has got 33 kilos of vertical lift. And then the 5.6 foot Jig Max 500 Durag Max has got 30 kilos of vertical
Dave, you got
lift.
these stats?
So yeah, that is quite a lot of lift out of a small rod.
I'm just going to say, Dave's like fully disengaged from his story here.
Oh,
He hasn't heard a single word you've said, Joey.
it just really infuriates me, the bend in that rod.
The
The high sticking.
infuriates you.
I don't care if they say that's how they're supposed to work. There's no way that is the optimum amount of leverage by holding a rod
High sticking.
straight up.
Yeah, well, when you get to that angle, I've got to say something. You got good angle here, and then when you get to a certain point, you're releasing the tightness, and then getting tight again once you get to a certain angle. So how is that any good? Shouldn't you just work the good angle?
Look, I just you're probably right, but like, yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to catch one of those big jumbos on spin gear. Like, pretty cool. Like most of the 300 kilo tuna, you're sitting in chair tackle. You got Tiagra 130s on there, and it's or it's in the rod holder. But yeah, these guys are doing stand up. You love doing stand up,
Dave
don't
caught
you?
a 160 kilo tuna on a spin rod.
I 146.
Ah.
But yeah,
I
sure,
tried
160.
to,
Yeah, thanks.
add
Yeah.
mayo to it here.
And I snapped it because I tried to do what that guy did.
Yes, exactly.
Lifting it too high. No,
So
the reason
there
I
you
was a
go.
bit disengaged is actually because it reminded me of something that I was reading the other day that I was going to bring up on the podcast because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Almost does grind my gears.
Oh, here we go. We got another grinds my gears, guys. Oh, it's not even working.
Oh, it's going well.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Thanks, Tom. You know what really grinds my gears?
I want to read this to you, these
Yeah.
stats. You tell me if you think this is even like we might need to do some maths here because I can't see how this is physically possible.
Mm-hmm.
This boat released 161 marlin, striped marlin,
Mm-hmm.
in less than 4 hours fishing time
Right.
out of Cabo.
Yeah,
Cabo Island.
Mexico. Yeah, Cabo.
161.
Okay, so what kind of boat are we talking about, and what kind of size are these fish? Because this is all a factor that will, determine whether this is possible.
Well, it's your standard 50-odd foot game boat. I
So
know
they're
they're
probably
smaller
running a
striped
spread
marlin.
of at least 10 rods.
Well, I know they're smaller striped marlin.
Mm-hmm.
Shane says it's impossible. Can someone do the maths on that? 161 in 4 hours.
4 hours, it's impossible. I tell you why. Because just resetting the spread takes it, on a big 50-foot boat will take at least five or so minutes. So
That's right.
if you're catching one marlin and you get a double, you're winding every other rod in to fight these two fish. It's going to take you, if they're small or not, it's going to take you 5-10 minutes unless you're reversing straight on them and jamming a tag in them. That's the only possible way of doing it. And Brendan's, UFish TV, Brendan, he's done the maths right now in the live stream, and he said a marlin every 1.5 minutes.
I've just done the same thing here.
Yeah.
Every 1.49 minutes. How? I've seen footage from over there. I tell you what they do. They do.
Wait, do we need to
They-
get the police onto them?
Do you reckon the snapper police could go out of their jurisdiction and take on an international case for us, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, Joey, are you going to go there and do the police sirens?
Yeah.
No.
We just have,
Here
just
we
have a
go.
little bit of it. Yeah, go get them.
You're in trouble now, you
Ma-
Marlin liars.
Marlin police.
Wonder if we're going to get copyrighted for using the Bill theme song.
I hope not.
I love that song.
It's very entertaining. So every 1.5 minutes. So I know what they do over there is they run very long trays. So they're backing up, grabbing, wrapping, and popping the fish from long range, and
But
that's
can you
counted
do
as a
this-
capture.
So if you're catching 100 and what did you say, 61? Was it?
That's
If
yeah.
you're catching 100 and odd fish in 4 hours, you've got to be backing up to get one fish. These fish, if you're on a double or a triple, these fish aren't coming at the same direction. So how can you possibly be backing up and grabbing and tagging these things?
Yeah, well, I suspect they're literally hooking them, chasing after them at full speed backwards, grabbing the giant long trays, popping them off. But even still, I don't. How are you getting that many hookups?
I
Must be
don't-
pretty bloody insane.
Well, it reminds me of seeing fishing videos and stories of Wanganella Banks. Like these guys catching a lot of marlin.
Yeah,
But
they're
these
catching
are,
25 a day though.
yeah, but these are like 100-kilo models. These
Yeah.
aren't whatever you're talking
Not
about.
those
10
little
yeah.
squeaks.
I don't even know what a 10-kilo striped marlin looks like.
You've
I
got
guess
n-
it looked like a sailfish or something.
No, I
Wouldn't
don't know about 10 kilo, but anyway, you got nothing to be proud of, mate. Put your dumb flags down.
Yeah, you got something else that grinds your gears this week. You were sort of telling me.
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know Adrian does, but yeah, I look, Joe, you know I've had the fishing curse lately.
Yeah, sure.
My wife came home, she'd bought fish to eat. I don't want
Are
to say
you kidding me?
I don't want to say that.
You're a fisherman, Dave,
I
and
just-
she actually went to the shop and bought fish.
Man, I buy Atlantic salmon all the time. I don't know
Yeah,
what you're
but
talking
you
about.
can't catch Atlantic salmon. Oh my god, are you telling me Atlantic salmon was grinding your gears, Dave?
It really what annoyed me, and you can probably touch on this, Joe, because I know this is one of your staple diets.
It's one of my favorite dishes. Yeah.
Why do they sell it with the freaking scales on still? Do you eat the scales?
Oh, you bought the whole fish, did you?
No, the little cut, like the chunks of the fillet.
What? It still had scales on
They
it?
all- always
no,
do.
No. Let me clear
No,
this up. There's two varieties of Atlantic salmon at the
Yeah, there's
supermarket.
one farmed in a mass swamp, nuclear swamp in Europe somewhere,
They're the
and then
ones
there's
you want.
some in Tasmania that escape that Jonah loves deploying his nets at when they escape. But are these the two kinds you're talking about? The European and the Tassie
I
ones?
look close, but yeah, it was just as simple as skin on and skin off. And
Mate, crispy skin
Hang
salmon.
on.
There's only
You
one. way.
can't. Yeah, you have to eat it with the skin on. That's
Yeah.
where all the goodness is.
yeah, well, look, Dave, it might have been. Look, and your wife is absolutely. I love your wife.
Well, fine, you can have it because she's bought me fish with scales on it.
No, well, it's how you cook it, right?
Oh,
Who cooked
She's
it?
calling it
Who
Australian
cooked it?
salmon as well. That is incorrect, Madeline.
Madeline, it's not Australian.
It's
salmon.
Australian grown
Australian salmon
Atlantic salmon.
is actually a species of herring. Just FYI.
So you've gone to eat Atlantic salmon and you've had some scales and you're not happy. Is this what I'm picking up? What you're putting down?
Oh well, yeah. Why sell it with bloody scales on, and then you're standing there like a dick in your kitchen, scaling tiny squares of fish meat?
Now, did you buy fresh salmon or frozen?
Yeah, fresh,
salmon?
yeah.
Oh, fresh. Okay.
Yeah, from the deli.
I've never had a problem with the scales because the way that I cook it, I'm not sure if this is the right way, but I haven't munched on a scale. Is you put your olive oil in the pan and it needs to
Oh
be.
no, you go butter, Joey. That's where you made a mistake.
I do a mix of both. Actually,
No, look, I
I
prefer.
agree with that.
I prefer the oil. Like once you got the oil smoking, I put the fire down to half, and you make sure you got
The fire.
salt.
He's calling
He's a
it fire. He's
caveman.
cooking on a fire.
You've got
He's got a hearth in
you
his
really
kitchen.
are quite the Neanderthal.
a frying pan with olive oil under fire. Once it's smoking, you put it down to half, and then you make sure you rub
Here we go.
rock salt and
Oh, shut up,
cracked
Shane.
pepper into the skin, and then you put the skin down in the hot oil, and it should just crisp up like popcorn. But if your oil's not hot enough, you're gonna have soggy, scaly, crappy skin.
No, my skin was crisp. Shane on the comments here is actually saying that
He
Let's
said
go.
you need to
Okay.
fact check it now.
He's fact checking his own comment.
Yeah.
But his original comment was that they soften at high heat and don't need to be removed, which maybe that is true.
Apparently, Simon Webster's saying olive oil goes toxic when it starts smoking.
Does it?
Is this true?
Oh, yeah. Well, like, we're not. You don't want to be like smoking for like ages. Like, you got to be watching the damn
So
thing.
it's like a human. Like you don't want to be smoking too
Oh,
long.
no.
Oh, look, you can.
Joe's
yeah.
eating toxic olive oil. I like the butter mixture, right? Because it gives that nutty flavor.
Well,
Once it,
you don't want to overcook your butter because you don't want it to go black. So you add a bit of olive oil in it to keep the heat, down on it, and you still get caramelized skin, which is
not-
delicious.
Mhm. Okay. Not
Yeah.
why I do it.
No?
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, that's I'm sad for you, Dave, that you copped a scale. I'm very sad.
Not a scale. It was just they were on there. No attempt was made to remove them. Cost cutting, I think. Maybe you are supposed to eat them. Someone can.
Were they
clarify
at
that.
least? Was it a whole fish you bought or cutlets?
No cutlets. No, like
Wait.
cutlets of the fillet.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it was pin boned and everything, or did you have to do that as well?
Yeah, pin bone.
Yeah.
Now this is what the podcast should be about, not how to catch kingfish. Boring. All right. Let's keep this sort of topics going. I'm really enjoying this.
yeah. That's interesting.
Do you pin bone your snapper, or do you just throw that bit away, Dave?
I cut that out very like with
Oh.
a precision blade, so
Yeah.
there's no meat left on the bone. The pin bone's down the middle.
Oh, and speaking of snapper bones, have you guys seen that you can skull mount your snapper? Have you guys ever thought about skull mounting your?
We've
your
seen it for decades, Joey.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not
what's-
really into having a skeleton in my house.
Skeletor.
Although I do have a swordfish nose.
No. When I
Bill?
saw the snapper skull on its little wood block mount, I just couldn't help but think of that Ace Ventura quote. My, what a lovely room of death you have here.
Just a
For
giant
anyone who
bear
gets-
on his wall.
Everyone who gets that reference, that's very funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, great movie too, by the way.
love
Yeah.
it.
All right, well, that's what grinds my gears. I know Adrian's pretty pissed off today.
Am I?
Oh.
Not really.
Oh, yeah?
Already let Joey know.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
just Joe's motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey's
You went
motor.
out of sequence. You ground your gears early.
No, that's okay.
No, I
that's
was
warranted. I've
making
been
him-
making calls to take that boat out since I got it, but yeah, I'm just
Now,
excuses.
there's not just me and Dave giving you crap about your motor. It's the whole general community, other mates. Like, what's Joey doing going to Billy Joel? Like, he's got a brand new motor. The weather's mint.
Yeah, that's all right. There's plenty of days to go out. But anyways, it's happening this week. That'll be the end
Shame
of that.
on you, Joey.
You'll be editing up a beautiful video of that Mercury humming along this time next week.
There's been a bit of conjecture because I'm not actually sure who jinxed who here, but it's between myself and Michelle, who's actually on the live feed here.
Oh, Michelle.
I tried to blame her for being the bad luck snapper queen because she came out with us, me and you, and had a very tough session.
And then I went out by myself at lunch the next day and absolutely creamed him.
That's right. Well, wasn't the next day, but if that makes your story
No,
sound
oh,
better.
2 days later, sorry.
Okay.
Creamed
and
them. Put a bit of mayo on that, or did you actually cream them?
Joe, you've watched my video?
He mayoed them.
Oh, okay.
And then Michelle and I and my wife went out and had another donut session. So I'm not sure who.
Well, I
is-
can tell you what I'm saying. There's a pattern growing, and it seems like you're the common denominator.
I
here.
am, but I just wondered if she did a snapper jinx transfer on me.
Perhaps.
That's
Perhaps.
that's what I'm going with.
Joey's lost for words here, but
No, I'm
it's
just. I'm
Dave
just.
bad luck.
No, he's not. Dave's always. Always.
I'll persevere. Don't you worry.
Dave's put me on the fish a lot. He's pretty good luck. I rate him, so I'm shocked to know that he's had some bad luck lately.
To be honest, they're cheesing here. Captain Dave and Captain Joey, they're cheesing
We
with their
stick together
whiskies.
over here.
Well, to be honest, Dave hasn't done as many trips as he would normally because he's got a.
Oh, this is the part where
I didn't-
everyone lifts up my morale. I like this bit.
yeah.
Did he go to Billy Joel also? I didn't see him there.
No, but he was out with me that day actually.
I
and
was Billy
yeah,
Joel.
We were singing a bit,
Yeah.
singing a bit of Milo.
Yeah.
We had Mitch celebrating with his penis knobber.
That was your classic example. Mitch had a lovely day.
Yeah.
It was very high morale, and we were absolutely terrible. We weren't fully depressed at that point. It was only after we'd dropped about 5 or 6 fish. But anyway, we've touched on that a fair bit.
We did get a consolation fish, but we spoke about that, and it wasn't big enough to actually call our session a non-donut session.
Positive news.
Oh, positive news.
There's been a golden tag captured.
Is that a
What?
$10,000?
$2,000. And get this, 53 centimeter flathead, Tamboon, estuary,
50 centimeter flathead. So
53.
it's not even legal.
53.
Is it legal?
I don't know what the rules are.
Okay.
His first flathead ever.
He gets $2,000 for a
Had a
flathead.
golden tag in it.
What?
By by the name of Matthew.
You're kidding me.
So Lee Drainer's golden tag thing's still going on.
Yeah, it's still going on. There's still a few golden tag fish swimming around.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's some positive fishing news. How about we quickly run through a couple of reports, Adrian? We've even recorded a new segment for this one.
We certainly have.
Welcome to the hookup as we go all around Australia and indeed the world to bring you the freshest fishing reports. Stay tuned. Not bad.
Oh, they're not bad for a season debut.
I don't mind that. I did that in one take, everyone. One take, baby.
He's good.
Absolute pro. So we've got a return of the Gippy report from Simon. Short and sweet. Recent bad weather has been seen most of the offshore fishing grind to a halt, but gummies and steady run of snapper were being taken prior. School sharks and gummies up to 20 kilo have turned up. Bigger snapper to 8 kilo. The usual whiting bite continues at lakes, and bream have been going well at the Mitchell River mouth. One piece of info just in from a helicopter pilot flying between the Golden Beach and Locksport yesterday. Saw 5 very large sharks. One was a giant hammerhead just up behind the breakers, so expect something huge there shortly. Bem River fishing whale in the lake. Conran boat ramp is now open, but pics of the sea crashing in there in recent days makes me wonder. Thanks for the relaxing music, Adrian. How much better it would be without a break wall. That's all for now. Thanks, Simon. It would be better with a break wall there, wouldn't it?
The new Condon ramp, it looks very like they. What have they done? Extended the concrete and basically made the docking bit a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Is that all they've done?
Yeah, they've made the pontoon a bit longer and resurfaced the actual ramp itself. But I don't think there's any break wall or anything there to offer proper protection. But obviously, that was beyond the budget.
Yeah. Well, could you imagine how much effort that would take?
It would take a hell of a lot.
Maybe we'll try that ramp this year.
Well, we might just do that.
Yes.
Adrian.
Put it,
Joke.
add it to the list.
Yeah. Anyway, moving through some other reports, we've got we've talked about Pedro Branco still firing, according to Joni Ick, our Tassie correspondent.
Well, I heard there's guys who've never caught barrels in their lives, and they're launching out there after Jonah's report, and they're absolutely catching their first barrels.
It's dumb.
Oh, it's good to see.
It's I was going to say dumb trolling. That's pretty rude.
Just tolling some dumb plastic.
It's fairly easy fishing down there at the moment, though. Put it that way. But guys catching them, you have to say well done because they've gone to the effort of going out to that rugged old place and taking on those leviathans of the deep. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
apparently Jonah, he's a salmon expert, and he goes, you should fry it with the scales on because they caramelize up.
There you go. So I was right.
Okay.
And so was Shane.
I'm still pissed off though, but mainly at the marlin catching man.
Yes.
He got sick of scaling after a good big net session. So he's actually caught a lot.
He's netted a few, as we've touched on in previous episodes. Goulburn River, you had a little bit of intel about this, Adrian. Apparently, the trout have spilled.
Well, yeah, all the trout farms in that area, because of
Flooding.
the torrential downpour that we've had, and the land hasn't had much time to dry out. It's just soaked up, so it's just becoming one giant lake, and everything's just going down into the Goulburn. So every bloke and his dog are going down there and just absolutely slaying these wild trout. Air quote, wild trout.
Yeah, potentially some are wild. I suppose.
Yeah, just look at those cheeks and those tails.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So no, that's pretty well, it's good fishing. It's nice, accessible fishing for everyone.
Yeah, no, well, if you want to get down to the Goulburn, now's your chance to catch that 1 kilo rainbow trout because
Wow.
they're in there.
That's right. Snapper still going good for everyone but me. Port Phillip. Western Port, I feel, has slowed slightly.
Oh, don't tell me
Well,
that.
well.
That's where I was going to go on Friday.
Well, one of our mates caught one of his biggest fish of the season.
Still a few fish, but I feel numbers.
We saw like scales going up to 8 kilos on one of his fish. So
Yeah, there's still some good fish to be had.
Did he have
Port-
a police check?
Don't play the music. Here.
No, we're going to savour it.
Port Welshpool Premier big snapper fishery. We saw our mate Kev Bahaja. He got a cracking 8 kilo knobby, big knobby nosed beast.
yeah, right.
The
Yeah,
kind of
that's good.
snapper that you want to print, Adrian.
That was nice.
Well, I
Very
did
nice
say, if we get one over 88, I'd print it, which we did. We got a 93. But it'd be nice to get one, that has a big schnoz.
A
like
big
the
schnozzer.
The one Kev got. And I think that went 8 kilos, he said. So that's a good fish.
Yeah, it's a really good fish.
Well done, Kev.
Big news locally, of course, is the school bluefin are back in our waters.
What?
You got your tags ready?
Yeah, I got them ready.
Have you got 100 of them, though? We
Don't
missed
know.
out on a few last year because we ran out of tags.
Have
Yeah.
you got your spreader bar and drone ready, Adrian?
Yeah, I do.
Well, exciting times ahead for yourself and everyone else in Victoria, then, isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
Very exciting.
Gonna need
Look,
some
I'm
more
going to be
tags.
honest. I won a couple of trophies for my effort last year, but I feel like
Uh.
people are going to be on board this year, and it'll be a dismal effort by myself, and people will
No.
go, I tagged this many, and they've won the trophy because they see how easy it was to get that trophy. Like one bloke in his 420 Renegade can win 2 trophies. How does that happen?
Because he had Dave standing with him.
Oh, well, a lot of those tags that I tagged were solo.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
discredit me then.
But I got to say something funny because one day I went out with Dave on his boat at the Eastern Entrance. I said, Dave, since you're captain, you can't touch a damn rod. I got to wind these fish in. And I think he was happy to do that.
Yeah, I'm not huge on winding. I
Yeah.
do enjoy driving, and then you do the hard bit.
We
winding
got
in.
Tom Kira saying he's got his King Browns ready. So I've
Very
certainly
exciting.
got my King Browns ready as
Yes.
well.
Love those lures. I just want to make a quick mention. The big thanks to both of you.
It's all right. I don't know what I've done, but
No, so last week on the channel, Dave has edited and uploaded my recent trip to Mauritius. So that went live on the channel. It was 3 nights liveaboard on a boat out in Mauritius, 210 k's out at the Sudan Bank, and it was thanks very much for doing that, bud. Everyone back in Mauritius I shared that with, and they got a real kick out of it because it's not something that they would sort of normally do. Go to the effort of filming and fishing and editing it. So yeah, everybody in Mauritius really enjoyed that video, Adrian. So yeah, look, thanks, Adrian, also for your support. Also,
Oh, thanks, Joey.
that's all right, Joe. I can't say I enjoyed editing it. It was quite a nightmare.
yeah,
but,
it was a 256 gigabyte card. I think it was about 4.5 hours of footage there, and
hmm,
look, it was a lot of the same fish, just in different shapes.
I'll
and
tell you
forms.
what, I would have loved to have seen you in the night time and the morning time, like having breakfast and dinner and throwing up. That's one tip I
we
would have
wanted
loved to
the
see
whole
because
story,
I want to
Joe.
see Joey coming out of his shell, exposing his vulnerable side because that's what I want to
exposing
see.
himself.
Look,
Yeah,
it's not Love
exactly.
Island.
No, but you know what I mean.
No,
I want to
I'm-
see your vulnerable side because that, when I go on YouTube and I watch people's stories, I go, that's pretty cool. Like they're showing us, their lows and their highs, and I'd love to see that next time, I reckon.
And congrats on the biggest death pile of fish I've seen since snapper season. On that video, it was really good.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's
It fed
look,
a lot of
I
a lot
didn't-
of people in Mauritius.
I didn't have a say in it, but that's what that boat does.
Yeah, that was one thing I was looking for when I was editing it. Was a good like a discussion about the fact that it was a commercial fishing vessel, but that wasn't there. But anyway, we know for next time, Joey. Maybe we'll all go back there and get all the bits that we're missing and make a even better video than that one.
What got me thinking, it was exactly that. Like, would have loved to have had you boys there also because we've all been fishing together for a long time, and we know how to film fishing TV.
Well, hopefully, when we start making more money on our YouTube channel, we're going to put a trip together with our fundings and film the crap out of it.
That sounds good. Hey, there's actually a few questions this week. So
Cool.
Oh,
we're getting to use all our intros this week.
Hit the button.
Oh, actually, no, this one isn't a button, Joey. This one is a special one.
Oh, this one's too good to be on the panel. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Absolutely.
Lives inside the computer.
Hit me with your questions.
Why don't you hit us with your questions?
Hit me with your questions.
Fire away! Thank you to Tina Arena for the backing vocals there. That's who that was, I believe. Who was that, Joe?
No, it's Tanya Creeley from
Tanya
Super
Creeley.
Band.
Well, she did a great effort there, nearly as good as us, and we do thank her for her input. Now there's a few questions, as we said. So I'm going to start off with Harry Doa Johnson. I think that's how you say that.
Shane said, "Oh dear, that was terrible singing." I think that was the end of his sentence.
You've added added that bit.
Yeah.
Shane enjoyed it. He's saying, "Oh dear, I can't believe how good that was."
Yeah.
Is what he was actually going to say. What's your favorite way? Oh, we've already spoken about this. What's your favorite way to chase kings in Vic, and what tends to be the most productive? I think we kind of
Yeah, we covered that in Joey's
covered
segment.
that, didn't we, Joe? In your
Dave-
Kingfish extravaganza.
Dave says top order. I say live baiting.
Here's a real good question that I think we should delve deeply into.
Oh, yeah?
Am I going to need another whiskey?
Has
I'm good, Joey.
Joey, should I actually read this? Found a lady friend yet to be their exotic, beautiful man that you can hug and kiss. Or I think this is relating to something you've said. Or is there too much chasing tail, not enough use of the new motor? Can we
No.
get a
No.
statement from the
You-
man?
You can't even add that as a stat. Not enough use of the new motor because it hasn't even been used.
Well, if you're using the motor, you're not going to be chasing tail.
So well, you think you've gone the right way by not using the $10,000 motor that
He's,
you've
he's
just purchased?
brushing. He's brushing the cat. All right. That's what
He's
he's
busy patting the pussy, all right?
doing.
The cat, Adrian. I can show you a video of him doing it and everything.
I was visiting Dave and I brushed his cat, and the cat had weeks of enjoyment being less fur off it.
Oh.
Somehow, Joe patting my cat has become quite the legend, the folklore in our group of friends.
No, what was that question? It was like 3 questions in one.
Okay,
Was the
so,
statement.
are you still on the market?
Yes.
Have you signed up to Love Island yet?
No, I'm not on Love Island.
Well,
I've got the
yeah.
paperwork here for you.
Oh,
Can we seriously do a sign up on the last podcast of the year?
we'll talk about it.
Let's do it.
sorry.
Let's do a poll for Joey. Like, we want him back on reality TV. Do we want him back?
We do.
Look, Love Island compared to dating in the dark, like those guys have got no hope. Like the cameras are rolling, like there is nowhere to hide.
On with
So you got to please yourself somehow.
Adrian. So, and the other part was just that have you been chasing tail too much and not using the motor enough, which we all know you have been using the motor.
I can't wait to see Joey's stats on these motors, and I'll make sure they're right.
Yeah.
No,
that's
really, honestly, the last 2 weeks since the motor came on, just got back from Mauritius. There's a lot of real estate going on, a lot of playing in the band, a lot of Christmas functions, and World Cup soccer binging, watching soccer at 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and having an absolute shit day the day after. That is honestly what's happened.
So you got
there's-
shit faced.
But there's no more. There's no more. Soccer's winding up, and the weather's good, and the gigs are winding down. So, yeah, that's
Can
the
you
best
give
way I
us
can
a
answer that
tip
question.
for
And
who's going to win the World Cup? Is it Argentina?
I think it's going to be a France-Argentina final, but France takes on Morocco tomorrow morning. It could be a big
They're
upset.
a dark horse, the Moroccans.
It would be.
They're adding spice to the tournament.
I love their chicken.
Oh, me too. Moroccan spice chicken.
Yeah. What else you got there, Davey?
Okay. P. Lynch Fishing wants to know, is Ace Jace, good friend of the show, truly the Kingfish King? Ooh. Is anyone going to jump in there? Just
Well,
stare at me
I'm going
awkwardly?
to say something. He actually tagged quite a few last year. I think it was like 20 or 30.
I think he is the world champ KingFish tag.
And you know what? One of his tags had been recaptured from him catching it too, including him 3 times.
It's been a few, yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
no, one
all
fish
good-
got recaptured 3 times.
Yeah,
which
and in the
is
same area.
incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, no, he's pretty good. He's a bit of a new kid on the block though. He's only been doing it a few years, you know. Not like me and Joey. Original gangsters.
Yeah, OG.
Back there at the beginning. Before that back when we invented them. Come on, Joe.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And here's an actual serious question. Reading weather apps, how do you know? He obviously hasn't seen Joe Bunn on the show. How do you know they are more likely to be on the tube? I don't know what they are. Fish.
Oh, reading the weather. He's talking about
what weather are you
the
looking for?
captain's wheel, is he?
Are you talking about the Mouldy Almanac?
Yeah, the almanac.
I think he's just saying what weather do we look for a good bite
Oh,
in general.
Well, generally, you don't want to fish at easterly wind because that's when the barometers are low. You want to fish something, where it's ramping up. You don't want to go a hammer down.
You know something though, Adrian? East means beast.
Well, you get less fish, but apparently you catch bigger ones.
Well, all jokes aside, when we're looking at the weather, there's a massive southerly that's happening in the next 24 hours.
Is that
and
on the back of a high pressure system or?
That's exactly right. So after the huge the southerly wind dies down, that high pressure system should come over, and as soon as the wind drops out, the barometer will be high. And generally, when we're snapper fishing, I'm not sure if it applies to other species, but the fishing's quite good
Well,
after a big blow on a high pressure system.
Dave's got a
comes over.
story about the barometer, how it plays on fish, because he actually worked at the real trout farm.
I really did. I really
Really?
did.
And
No, I just thought I used to find. I think we've talked about this before, but I used to find it interesting that literally a swimming pool full of can't remember how many thousands of trout there are.
Mhm.
You could but they were everywhere. Like you could see them swimming around in the pool. There would be weather conditions and like say a low barometer would actually shut them down. Like you couldn't catch one. You could see them.
not even a
What-
chicken pellet.
Yeah,
Could get
not
him.
even a
Not even a handful of pellets.
not even a trout farm trout. They wouldn't eat anything.
Wow.
So fish really do get lockjaw in certain conditions. It's not just us making excuses.
And that that pressure, the what do you call it, barometric pressure, that plays.
Barometric?
Barometric.
Yeah, no, well that does something to their air bladder, does it? Is that how it works?
Oh,
I think
that's
it's
what
a
they say.
theory.
Yeah, that's what they say. It compresses their swim bladder or something, so then they're less likely to want to feed or expands it. One or the other. I don't know if that's the case. I don't think anyone really does know, but yeah, it's good for an excuse when you haven't caught any fish.
Absolutely.
One more question here
It's
from.
definitely what I would use anyway if
Oh,
I'm not
I've
catching.
got heaps of excuses. Mostly that I'm cursed. That's
Yeah.
the main one I go with. Blair Smith, when the Kings are being moody and just not into it, what's your go-to to fire them up to get a bite?
Oh God. Yeah. How to answer that? It's either
Dave actually, especially on the tuna, when they're not on the bite, he has a call, and it's kind of like a trumpet war call. Do you want to give us a demo, Dave?
Oh, it's like a Himalayan throat singing. It's actually not. I didn't start this. It's something we've been doing for some time. It's a bit like a.
And apparently that gets the tuna on the bite when you go over to school.
Yeah, it works on the tuna. For kingfish to get them fired up when they're not chewing, they can be one of the most frustrating fish ever. If they don't want to eat, they're not going to eat. But I guess
that's why I feel like they're either on or they're not. I know I said it before, but I'll say it again. It's
yeah, maybe though teasers might incite a bit of feeding action.
Bit of burley.
Poppers.
Burley the dog is up.
Tell you what, poppers raise kings like nothing else. Stick baits get probably more hookups, but poppers get their interest, I find.
yeah, definitely. No, there's teasers. There's you can burley them. There's poppers. Yeah, trolling. Sometimes it's better to troll squid strips or even skirts. Sometimes is a bit better than. You just got to have all
Mix
these.
it up, Joey. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you got to have all these tools in your toolkit. We can talk at length about them another time, but yeah.
Oh no, this episode's enough. We've probably covered it enough.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
About this time next week, we'll be getting ready to have Christmas with all of our families. What is the one Christmas food you're looking forward to eating next weekend?
Oh, normally Adrian scores me all this sweet seafood from the seafood guys he works for as a Friggy. But just looking at the blank look that is on his face, I think I might be
You might be
having
like
roast chook this year, Joey.
you might be 10th or 11th on the list.
It might not. May actually have to procure my own seafood from the ocean.
Well, Dave's got a hooker.
How many times do we have to bring this up on the show?
It's not.
And I want him
working.
to use it this summer. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to get him a crayfish.
I'm not doing it. It's too much effort.
It's very dangerous.
No, I don't care about that. I just don't have time.
Adrian, favorite Christmas food for next weekend?
You know what? I'm a mega fan of the ham, the Christmas ham.
Oh,
Oh,
You know what?
that
I,
is-
I, I get
Oh.
I get a smoked ham and I'll put that in the oven. I'll dice it up, put some maple syrup
Yeah, so-
and Dijon mustard, right? And you rub it all into it and put little peppercorns on the little squares and you just roast that up, caramelize it up, and it is sweet and delicious.
a glazed
Oh.
ham. You can't
Yeah.
go past it.
one of my favorite ham glazes is really it's like it's in the can. They use pineapple juice,
Mm.
maple
You
syrup.
just need something sweet like maple syrup or fruit or whatever.
Yeah, but like you
Brown
get
sugar.
brown sugar, and you condense it down into this glaze, and you just keep basting that bad boy until
Oh,
it
yeah.
goes radioactive.
Yeah.
And then when you've got leftover smoked ham after Christmas Day, you
Mate.
can do like ham and eggs.
Mate, this thing can last like 3 months if you look after it well.
What about steamed hams?
I want to know how people look after these hams like for 3 months. Like these guys,
You wrap it in
it's an actual skill.
You wrap it in a wet
Hessian
towel
bag.
or something.
And like we're all about brands here. Have you got a favorite brand of ham?
Oh,
Bert-
Bertocchi.
Tucker.
It's got to be Bortucky. Yeah, I'll believe in that.
Tucker ham. The finest ham.
Yeah, nice.
So ham, we've all decided. None of the fresh seafood that we're going to get.
No.
No, I'm looking forward to some nice Aussie prawns.
Well, I'm looking forward to Christmas pudding with brandied custard.
Good stuff.
He's a sweet tooth, isn't he?
Oh yeah, freaking
We're beginning
Love
to
it.
really meander along here. So I think we'll bring this show to a close. But Joe, I've
Well-
got one more question for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
What is your pick of the McDonald's dessert menu at the moment?
Well, truth be told, there's can you believe it? For those who don't know, there's actually chocolate soft serve at Macca's right now. And we've just discovered tonight that the chocolate soft serve at McDonald's, it's not available at every McDonald's. So I got Dr. Google up and we're currently in Somerville and we looked at the long list of McDonald's restaurants that had chocolate soft serve available, and Somerville McDonald's has got chocolate soft serve. So Adrian, Dave, and I, we're going to grab a chocolate soft serve right.
I'm getting a
When we
McFlurry
finish.
with M&Ms. That's what I'm doing.
You're going to have a chocolate flurry.
Chocolate flurry with M&Ms.
So we're going to go eat ice cream. So we'll see you all next week, guys.
Joey just wrapped it up for us.
Get
Thanks.
out of here quick.
Thanks, Joey.
We got to go.
And we'll see you
We
guys
gotta
next
go.
week.
I'm going.
It's 24-hour Macca's, Joe.